Hello, welcome everyone from yet another episode. I remain your boy Ibrahim Umar Wasi, aka the General. Today we navigate a world simmering beneath the surface, where silence doesn't mean peace and handshake don't always mean time. From the desert of Middle East to the mountain of Korean Peninsula, the nuclear question becomes louder, sharper, and more urgent than ever. On one side, Iran and the United States, cautiously in 2020, with Oman whispering peace between ancient enemies. A deal is on the horizon, they say. A nuclear-free Iran, but is it real progress or recycled promises wrapped in softer language? On the other hand, North Korea, a nation sealed from the world but armed with a voice that echoes through its missiles. And across the ocean, Donald Trump, whose brand of diplomacy blurs the line between disruption and dialogue. The question, can he stop Kim Jong-un, or is the world watching a dangerous dance with no aim in sight? These are not just global chess moves. They are questions of life and death, power and paranoia, justice and survival. And on this program, my people, we ask, can the world disarm its pride before it destroys itself? Can diplomacy outpace destruction? Stay with me. This is not just international politics. This is humanity standing at a nuclear crossroads. And please don't forget to like this video. Hit the notification bell for more updates. So welcome back. In our story today, we journey to the crossroads of diplomacy and danger, where uranium meets uncertainty and the old enemies sit at the fragile table once more. The headline, Iran and the United States have reportedly agreed through Omani mediation on the concept of a nuclear-free Iran. Yes, nuclear-free Iran is the mantra. Now on the surface, this may seem like yet another foreign policy headline meant for policy wonks and international affairs nets. But don't be deceived. This story matters to you, to me, to Africa, and to the world. Let's unpack it. For over 2 decades, the world has been haunted by the scepter of an Iranian nuclear bomb. The West, led by Washington, has long feared that a nuclear-armed Iran will destabilize the already volatile Middle East. Iran, on the other hand, insists its nuclear ambitions are purely peaceful. Medical research, electricity, and national pride. But here is the twist. This week, the quiet desert sultanate of Oman, known more for deaths and diplomacy than power and provocation, has emerged as the unlikely peacemaker. According to reports, both Washington and Tehran have agreed in principle to a roadmap that would keep Iran nuclear-free in exchange for ease sanction and economic relief. Sound promising? Perhaps. But let's ask the deeper question. Can trust be built where betrayal has lived? Remember, in 2015, a similar question, the JCPOA, was signed. Iran copped its nuclear program. Inspectors went in and sanctions began to ease. But 3 years later, under President Trump, America tore up the agreement like a bad business contract. And since then, Iran has enriched more uranium than ever before. The economy has nosedived and tension have skyrocketed. So today's supposed understanding is not a love story. It is a cautious reunion between partners born by history. But what does this mean for us sitting here in Abuja, Addis Ababa, Nairobi, or Johannesburg? It means a lot. Because every time the world's superpower choose conversation over conflict, Africa sighs in relief. Because we as Africans understand too well what war does, not just to nations, but to generations. We have seen how global rivalries, whether during the Cold War or the War on Terror, spill into Africa in the form of arms, aid with strings, and foreign troops on our soil. So if Washington and Tehran are truly stepping back from the nuclear cliff, it isn't just good news for the Middle East, it is a real win for common sense in an age of chaos. But here is where it gets ethically interesting. Iran wants dignity, the West wants security. But the real question is, can peace be pursued without domination? Can diplomacy thrive without double standards? Let's not forget, the US itself has over 5,000 nuclear warheads. Israel, Iran's sworn enemy, reportedly has its own nuclear arsenal, though it's never admitted to it. So, is it fair to say we can have nukes, but you cannot? This, my people, is the moral paradox of global politics. And yet, in this same paradox lies possibility. Because if humility can walk into the room, if superpower can acknowledge their past mistakes and smaller nations can assert their rights without aggression, then maybe, just maybe, a new chapter can be written. So tonight I ask, are we as a global community finally choosing peace, or are we just postponing the next crisis? My people, peace isn't built in grand speeches. It's forged in quiet rooms through bitter compromises and uncomfortable honesty. Tonight, let us remember, a nuclear-free Iran is not just a win for diplomacy, it is a call to humanity. A reminder that even the most dangerous weapon cannot match the power of dialogue. Next, we shift our focus. Here, we turn our lens toward a peninsula on edge. A standoff that has gripped the world with the tension of a ticking clock and the silence of unsaid threats. North Korea, a small isolated country, yet armed with a very loud weapon, nuclear power. And at the heart of it all, two unpredictable men. On one side, Donald J. Trump, businessman, US president, political wildcard. On the other, Kim Jong-un, supreme leader, a man who inherited both a nation and a nuclear dream. The question tonight is bold, and it is urgent. Can Trump stop Kim Jong-un? But first, how did we get here? North Korea's pursuit of nuclear weapons dates back decades. To them, it is not just about power, it is about survival. They have watched what happened to Saddam in Iraq. They saw Gaddafi fall in Libya. They believe that without a nuclear deterrent, they are a target. Now, enter Trump in 2017, threatening fire and fury. A year later, smiling photos ops in Singapore, a handshake in Hanoi. The world watched, some in awe, others in disbelief. Was it diplomacy or theater? Trump call it historic. Kim call it respect.
So we're signing a very important document, a pretty comprehensive document, and we've had a really great term together, a great relationship. I'll be giving a news conference at 2:30, which is in a little bit less than 2 hours, and we'll discuss this at great length. In the meantime, I believe that they'll be handing it out on behalf of Chairman Kim and myself.
But here is the truth. North Korea never gave up its nukes. They posed, they postured, but underground their program grew. And today, Pyongyang boasts missiles that could strike deep into US territory. So back to our question. Can Trump stop Kim Jong-un? Realistically, not at all. Because this is not Nollywood or Hollywood movies. It is not Trump versus Kim. It is geopolitics. It is strategy. It is history and mistrust boiled into a dangerous stew. Kim's regime is fueled by paranoia, propaganda, and power. Trump's style is brash, transactional, built for applause. The chemistry may be entertaining, but nuclear disarmament isn't a reality show. Look at the deeper ethical dilemma. While it is okay for America, Russia, China, even Israel to have nuclear weapons, but a country like North Korea and Iran are called a threat for wanting the same. Now let me be clear. I'm not defending Iran's or North Korea's policies, but I'm asking questions many dare not ask. Is the global nuclear order fear or just fear disguised as principle? And my people, what can we here in Africa learn from all this? We may not have nukes, but we know what imbalance of power looks like. We know what happens when smaller nations are dictated to, when security is used as justification for control. But more than that, we know that true strength lies not in weapons, but in wisdom. So, whether it's Trump or Khomeini or Kim, diplomacy or threats, no one can dismantle a nuclear regime overnight. But one truth remains. Every handshake matters. Every dialogue delays disaster. Every post in conflict gives peace a chance. As the world watches North Korea, let us remember the goal is not just to stop Kim. It is to stop the world from exploding. We have built enough bombs to destroy the planet 100 times. But still, what we need more than ever is the courage to build peace once more. So my people, stay aware. In the age of missile, your voice is still the strongest weapon. And so my people, we return to the question behind the headlines. Iran, North Korea, two nations worlds apart in culture, politics and ideology, yet united by a single truth, isolation and vilification. They are cast as villains on the global stage. Iran, the rock theocracy, North Korea, the madman's regime, both punished with sanctions, encircled by suspicion and squeezed into silence. But let's ask, have we paused long enough to understand why they work the nuclear parts? When a nation is surrounded, choked by decades of distrust, when it is told it cannot be trusted, even while its accusers stockpile weapons of mass destruction, when its people live under the weight of economic warfare and diplomacy comes dressed more like domination, is it any surprise they seek protection in power? This is not to excuse, it is to explain, because understanding is not weakness, it is wisdom. Both Iran and North Korea are in many ways creation of global hypocrisy, told to disarm while others arm to the teeth, asked to obey rules that the powerful rewrite at will. And yet tonight, there is a glimmer. Oman's brokers a whisper of peace. Trump, for his chaos, opened a door, if only for a moment. So here is the deeper question. Can the world offer reintegration without humiliation? Can we offer dignity, not just demands? Because history has shown concerned nations become dangerous, but engaged nation can change. In a world so fragile, where a single missile can rewrite history, perhaps the real power lies not in nuclear warhead, but in mutual respect. Tonight, my people, I leave you with this. What if peace isn't found in punishment, but in understanding the pain behind the provocation? What if the path to a safer world begin by seeing even our enemies as humans? Thank you for watching till the end. Until next time, stay watchful, stay connected.
Thank you very much. So we're signing a very important document, a pretty comprehensive document, and we've had a really great term together, a great relationship. I'll be giving a news conference at 2:30, which is in a little bit less than 2 hours, and we'll discuss this at great length. In the meantime, I believe that there'll be